Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Can Trade webinar brought to you by Kenanga Investment Bank. And today we are going to do this session, which is a live chat with Ta Win Holdings Berhad. EV power the way. So thanks for joining our sessions. Thanks for spending your precious evening to join this session with Ta Win Holdings. So today you're going to learn a great deal about Ta Win Holdings. Okay. Now, if you are ready for this session, okay, tell us, type ready in the chat so we know you're ready. All right. Thank you so much. This session we received overwhelming response. We have over 1,000 people registered for this webinar. All right, cool. Okay, most of you are ready, huh? We also have friends who are streaming in from YouTube. For those of you who are streaming in from YouTube, hello. All right, so today we are very excited because we have invited the Group Managing Director of Ta Win Holdings Berhad, who is Dr. Sri Ngu, and also Mr. Justin Wong, who is the Managing Director of Cyprum Wire Technologies in Berhad, to join us in this session with live chat with Ta Win Holdings Berhad, EV Power the Way. Now, Ta Win Holdings Berhad is a leading copper wire and copper rod manufacturer. Now, since 2018, they have undertaken a huge and major transformation. And then with it, we have a new subsidiary, Cyprum Wire Technologies in Berhad, who also want to focus on the high margin products using the innovative electron beam irradiation technologies. And today you're going to learn a great deal about Cyprum wire technology as well as the technology behind it, which is electron beam irradiation. All right. So disclaimer for this session is that this session is only for educational purpose. In no way that we give any, recommendation to buy or sell any company we listed here. So if you decide, if you want to make any investment decisions after this webinar, you do it at your own risk. Okay. Yeah. Please do all your due diligence before you make any investment decisions. All right. So, without further ado, let me just hand over a session and invite Dr. Sri Ngu, who is the Group Managing Director of Ta Win Holdings Berhad, to give us the presentation of Ta Win Holdings Berhad. Dr. Sri.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Ngu here from Ta Win Holdings Berhad. Let me just do a quick introductions to you about Ta Win group of company. May I just leave you to the slide. So this Ta Win Holdings Berhad listed on the main board or the main market of the Kuala Lumpur Stock Exchange. Maybe Shanice, can you go through the slide?
Sure.
Everybody knows that Malaysia is the largest copper wire exporter. You can see from the screen here how much 53% to US, Malaysia's USD 500 over million, Turkey 300 over million, German 300 over million, Thailand 300 over million, European. So this is a copper wire exporter from Malaysia. Janice, go through the next slide. So Malaysia is the top 10 global electric wire exporter with 5% market share also. You can see from the chart from the round here. Germany is 15%, China 9%, Europeans 8%, Italy 8%, Spain 5%, Malaysia 5% locally. So this the other side on the right, I can't see it maybe. You can see from the round table there, Philippines, Singapore, Vietnam, everywhere is sourced from the WITS World Bank database. You saw it? Okay, let's go to the next slide. So cable and wire industry in Malaysia is quite competitive. About 6 players taking about 70% market share, more than 200 million in revenue per annum each. As you can see here is Alpha Industries, Berhad, Metro Holdings Berhad, Ta Win Holdings Berhad is only 8%. Then some electric solar 7%, others 1%. So Superconnect also about 1.9%, 4%. So this is wire cable wire industry in Malaysia, was few players in the market. Let's go to the next slide. So Ta Win, we are one of the leading public listed copper-based manufacturer. So we deal with copper rod and copper wire. We import copper cathode, and then we make into copper rod and copper wire. You can see on the left hand side the slide. Then other than that, we have our downstream product, which is electron beam crosslink wire and cable, our downstream to our copper rod wire product. And the next one is another our downstream copper rod coil assembly or wire harness for electronic industry. Both we have is our subsidiary. And all these three subsidiary, they are all integrated to each other from upstream, downstream, downstream. They are all interrelated to each other. Everybody clear from here? Let's go to the next slide. So here, this chart, actually, this diagram basically tell you about what we are, how the supply chain coming into play. But so from the vertical integrated or copper industry. So for the, let's say we have started from mining or smelting of the copper, then we go down to refine into copper cathode. From copper cathode, then we bring in, that's why we are coming into from Ta Win is copper rod production. From the copper cathode, we bring in import from overseas, we melt, we pull, and then we make into copper rod production on to the right. Then from there, from the copper rod production, we go into different wire and cable industry. That I take come to the other diagram on the right. You come down to, well, let me see. Okay. You see the diagram from there? From there, come down to the end product, car, electronic, and other final product. From there, you can come out some more waste, copper waste, and then we can recycle back, go into the refinery again. This is how the whole vertical integrated on the copper chain supply or copper related product. Everybody clear? So this diagram. So Ta Win is started from copper rod production. Copper rod production, we import copper cathode. From here, we go down to copper rod production. Then from there, we go down to downstream automobile industry and E&E industry. Yeah, that's how what in simple way what Ta Win have right now. Yeah, I'm done. Everybody is clear on what brief slides on Ta Win Group.
Yeah,
is that clear?
I think it's quite clear.
Yeah.
So if of course, if you have any question for Dr. Sri will still be staying behind to answer any question you may have.
Okay. If there's no question, I want to link it from here to let our main subsidiary, which is Cyprium Wire Technologies and Berhad, which is Mr. Justin Wong, will be the CEO of the company. Let him brief you from here about what we have.
All right. So okay, so let's just hand over the session to the CEO of Cyprium Wire Technologies and Berhad, who is a subsidiary of Ta Win Holdings Berhad, to give you a brief overview of what the company does and also what are the innovative products all about. All right. So over to you, Mr. Justin.
Okay, good morning. Good evening, everyone. So this is my first time I do my presentation here. So now I start to sharing my slide. Okay. Okay, let me introduce. This is our company, Cyprium Wire Technology. It's a subsidiary of Ta Win Holdings. We are doing the wire and cable product for the automobile industry. And we focus on the automobile industry. We're also doing some others like oil and gas and solar. So our company, we just obtained the ISO 9001 in January 2021. And one more, the keyword is for this one, IATX. IATF 16949. I think some of you maybe understand of what is this. This is the basic requirement for automobile supply chain. If you want to become a supply chain of automobile industry, you need to have this one IATF 16949. Okay. So our company advantage compared to others, we have our parent company from Tawin Copper. They are our upstream. We got an advantage of the cost of the copper. And one more thing is we got a technology to doing the irradiation cross-linked wire, which means it's for more than 125 degree to 1250 degree, can using for EV vehicle, solar power system, and some of the maybe you heard about the aerospace and gas. This kind of premium margin is quite good business for wire cable industry. So this is this picture you can see is the copper rod. This one is produced by the Tawin. It's supplied to us. It's our core raw mat for the wire cable. So this is our existing facility in our Malacca factory. We're doing the wire cables. The machinery, because we just set up by 2019. So all the machinery design is the most advantage in the Malaysia. We have a industry 4.0, more real-time monitoring for all the function. So this is the machine. So okay, this is our company going to invest another the electron beam facility because now a lot of order come in from the overseas. So we need to expand our company also for the production facility. Okay, this is the certificate of the grant of a patent. Our technology is not rely on any others foreigner. This is a patent which for cross-linked polymer brand for insulation electrically conductive cable. So this technology, later I will introduce in my next slide. Okay, this is our operation director, Mr. Wong. Also is my father, because he is a chemist. He developed a lot of technology. So he also been awarded by Technofund, mostly Malaysia. So we're doing the automobile cable. So we are the Malaysia. I think also in the Southeast Asian, we are the only one to cover for the Japanese spec. You can see here, Jaso is a Japanese spec. So most of the Malaysian car is all Japanese spec. And also the DIN European spec like Volkswagen, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and the SAE. SAE is the United States Northern America spec. So because of our technology and our ability to design all the cable, then our company have covered all the automobile industry demand in Malaysia. So we also supply the E&E industry appliances wire. As you know, the Sinlitech is our new subsidiary of Tawin Group. So we also provide a lot of cables to our Sinlitech. So Sinlitech is the tier 1 wire harness. We are the tier 2, and the Tawin is the tier 3 raw mat supplier. This is quite a good solution for all the industry customer. So they don't need to have a source, facing a lot of problem for each tier supplier. Now they're sourcing from our Sinlitech and my company. They will have most advantage, like the cost, competitive cost, delivery, everything. So our company also have a ability to do some custom design wire. Some of the special wire like for military or defense. So for the robotic machine, the oil and gas special requirement, or even some special E&E product for Northern American market, like the vacuum cleaner for swimming pool. We also doing, and we are the Southeast Asian, the only one can produce and design this kind of cable. So this is the certificate. So most quality management system, most of you have seen this ISO 9001. This ISO 9001 is for our company. It's very easy to achieve one because this is IATX 16949 is the most difficult to get it. You need to spend more than 10 months to 12 months to apply because you need to attend the course. You need to have stage 1, stage 2 audit by the IATF requirement. So in Malaysia, not much company to comply this IATF. So this is our company product. This is some of the product. Okay, this is the wire and cable we supply to the wire harness. This is auto cable we supply to some local automotive wire harness, and they provide some car maker quite famous in Malaysia. So this is the EV car. So last time we developed with one Malaysia #1 local national car. So we have the ability because this kind of EV car, he all rely on the irradiation cross-link wire and cable. So, okay, let me talk about what is the automobile wire harness. Actually, in automobile wire harness, it's got a lot of type, but it's under 2 broad categories only. One is the normal automobile wire and cables. Most of the Malaysia and other Southeast Asian company, they have ability to do that. But because of the volume, delivery, costing, maybe some of them have problem like to bid some project. But our company, because I am same premises with the Tawin Copper. So the Tawin and me is something like very good strategy. We set up together. We save a lot of cost of transportation and even because just in time. Just in time is mean in automobile industry, they're not like other business. Maybe you will buy 1 month and put in store waiting for your sales go to promote your goods. But in the automobile industry, they're using just in time. So every week, all the planning is by weekly one. So you need to cash out your spec, production output, everything. You need to have a very strong base for your raw mat control and management. So another one is the irradiation cross-link wire. This is something like just now I mentioned, is for the high working temperature area. And also for the EV car, because now EV car is all the high voltage, so you need to have a high working temperature. And this technology actually monopolized by Western and Japan and Korea more than 40 years already. So since I think 1980, 1990, Malaysian, most of our Malaysian, this kind of wire is all rely on the foreigner. So until now, unluckily, they also, I think before Cyprium set up, they also rely on the import from the few famous countries like Japan, Korea, and Western country. But now, because Cyprium have breakthrough this monopoly by them, we have the IP patent. And actually, before this, I think before this presentation, from January, February until now, we start to spec in a lot of project to the local famous car maker also. For the overseas, quite a few EV car maker in the overseas, because of the, I cannot mention the name because after we have signed a lot the NDA agreement with them. But all the spec in process, we get a very good feedback from all of our customers, not only in local, and also in some are from China, some are from the other area of the like India, and even some of them is come from Europe. It's always global huge vehicle maker. So our IP patent obtained in June of 2020. Actually, we filing this patent agreement from my father and my person is in 2014. But unluckily, Malaysia, because we lack of this kind of knowledge, with my IPO, they spent 6 years to complete all the survey, everything, then only give us the certificate by last year, June. So this is how difficult of this technology, because when you submit to them, they also cannot find the expert to verify. So they sometimes they need the support from overseas to do the review for everything. Before this patent, just now I mentioned, is monopolized by the Western country. So after we break through their monopoly with our patent, we submit a lot of sample to them, now get the positive, and even some of them already placed the order to our Cyprium wire technology. So I need to brief a bit for the automobile industry. This is the auto market size of automobile industry. So I think last year everyone is suffer in the COVID-19 pandemic. So but Malaysia still sustain for 530,000 units vehicle in 2020 compared to 2019 is 610,000. Now our company is aiming for 2 countries first, because now the capacity nearly full already. We need to step by step to expand again. So we target for the Malaysia, surely, because we are the purely Malaysian company. I think it's only the purely Malaysian company to have on our own technology, and our copper is also rely on our parents company. So we are purely local, because I think most of you purchase the car, you will heard the wording of CKD and CBU. In this kind of wire harness, is protected by our Malaysia NAP. So National Automotive Policy declare all the things you must better local contents like 60% you only entitled to the CKD. In this wire harness, we get the benefit from the policy. So, but this is very usual. All of the country will protect, even like US, China, or Western country. This kind of developed country, they also use a lot of policy to protect their automobile industry, because the volume is very big. The automobile, the volume, it can support one country, the GDP, the economy, everything. So let me introduce a bit for you, like the wire cable is around 1,000, the cost in a normal car. So some of them is got like the EV car is go for 3,500. It's almost like 700, 800 US dollar per unit. This is the wire cable cost. So maybe next time you can go to survey from your dealer. You need to spend maybe 4,000 to 5,000 or even 10,000 to replace your wire harness from your 4S center. But the cost from us, we sell to all the car maker is nearly 1,000 plus. Now Cyprium is aimed for capture 30% market share in Malaysia and Thailand in the phase 1. Why I mentioned to the phase 1? Because this setup, we need to step by step, because we need to train the manpower. We need to, because this spec in progress, you need to invite all the global auto vehicle maker come to audit your company, and the global wire harness famous company, they also need to audit your company step by step, because in this industry they're looking for long-term and stable company to become their supplier. So we set up and we are focused on the automobile industry, so we fulfill a lot of the requirement for their request audit list. So let me introduce a bit about the estimate net profit margin. Actually, for normal is around 20% per car. So, and 35% is for EV car. So the EV, show you some of the information in 2023. I think Malaysia will start to do something, launching a lot of new EV car, and maybe next year, our government will upgrade our NAP for the EV, because EV car come to Malaysia, you need to have a charging station, everything, all the infrastructure. So our company, Cyprium Wire, we already start to spec in and submit all the sample in China through our wire harness customer. So now we are doing some, because the MDA, I cannot disclose so much. So we are the most, we can say we are not only the pioneer, we also the leading leader in this industry to doing this kind of EV charging and EV car wire cables. So thank you. I think I pass back to the Shane. This is my presentation for automobile. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr.
Yeah.
Justin Wong.
Yes.
Okay, now, right now, I'm sure that all of you have learned a great deal about Cyprum Wire Technology, which is a subsidiary of Ta Win Holdings Berhad. So if any questions for our two presenters today, you may write in the Q&A box, not the chat box, okay? It is the Q&A box so that we can easily manage your questions. Right, we have about 15 minutes for question and answer. All right, we have got, so many questions on our Q&A panel right now. Okay, so let me go through the question. I've seen that there are a couple of, questions on about the copper price, because right now I think now we are going through a commodity bull run, so a lot of commodity prices are increasing, so including copper. So the common question is how does this copper price affect Tawin's profit margins, both short term and long term, and will this increase in price be passed to your customers? May I know who want to take it? Yeah, Dr. Sri, you have to unmute yourself.
No, I can ask Justin to answer it. Justin can answer it. Justin, you said it.
Justin, you have to unmute yourself.
Justin, you there?
Okay, I'm here. So which question I should answer first?
Yeah,
just answer the pricing, the costing.
Okay.
Increase the copper price, whether it affect our cost or not.
Okay. For the automobile industry, actually we deal with the customer is back to back, because in automobile industry, I show you something. We are using the last quarter average or even last month average. So this is for the long term. Actually, we have forecast, we have PO from customer. I already start booking with my parent company for the copper from the LME, because everything the copper cost is stated from LME, and the exchange rate we using the Bank Negara, or some of they're using the Maybank exchange rate. You can use TTS, TTB or what. This is we fix on the agreement. So when we fix on the agreement, so we can call it back to back. We not say like we get like some of the project is you maybe go to bidding a project is during 8,000 LME, but after you get the project, after 1 month, you need to purchase your material is 9,000. You were facing loss. In the automobile industry and E&E also, we have both party agree for a long term. The long term is how? Actually, it's permanently, I can say it's forever one. Because you got advantage, because the rules is set in there. You want to do your hedging or what is up to you. But our company, because we're seeking for the expand of our cable revenue, everything, we're doing more and more business and more customer. So we are doing the back-to-back. We are not doing any like gambling on the copper, like depend on your luck. We don't do that. Everything is back-to-back one. Okay.
Okay. So will the increase in cost pass to your customers, and what is the lead time? So that's by CH Ang.
The lead time. Okay. I think the lead time, because automobile industry actually they are stated for every each PO you only have 10 to 14 days after you receive the PO. You need to make arrangement. So just now I think a presentation doing my slide, I mentioned some of that is a just in time. This wording is very important in automobile industry. So you need to have a very good planning, even with your experiences as a worker, or even you have some software to help you. I think most of you heard the ERP, but the most important thing is depend on your company, how to manage the material and your and your funding for all. So our company have this kind of advantage because my parent company is Ta Win. After we receive the order, usually 2 to 3 days, we can complete all the materials already be standby in my production floor. So we have a tolerance to help our customer if suddenly the demand they need to increase more than 30%, 40%. Most of the company they cannot do like that because they say, oh, we already planned the material. But in Cyprium, because our corporate is our parent company, we can anytime to adjust. So if you suddenly increase, let's say like suddenly Malaysia announced one more tax benefit for the car to promote our automobile industry, we are the best, and I think it's the only one have advantage. Can suddenly say any order you can come to me, I can deliver to you still according the normal dealing principle in 14 days. So if you ask me, the lead time is around 14 days. Thank you.
Okay. The next question is asked by Yong Wen Kit, whose question is, can you explain more on the potential of Cyprum Asia Poly partnership? Is there any projects clients secure under this new JV so far? There is not much media coverage on this JV, even though you have announced it via Bursa Malaysia.
This one, let me answer. Actually, of course, there will be, we have some intended project to carry on this joint venture. Under the Bursa ruling, we will only announce in due course. We can't reveal at this moment.
Okay.
Otherwise, we will not set out a joint venture company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The next question is asked by Chan Chita. Okay, he wants to know, like, can you explain why the cost of goods sold of Tawin is averaged like 97% of total revenue?
This one, I think you are referring to our core business, original core business. As I said just now, the original core business, we are on the downstream, but we are at the upstream, which we are raw material processor. Basically, our cost is followed by our LME price. Come in, we process, and then we sell the rock to our customer. So Cyprium actually is one of our customer and also our subsidiary, or plus other customer. So at this raw material supply, at this level, we making very tiny, small margin only. This is originally a Darwin core business in the past. So going forward, going ahead from now, that's why we venture into downstream. That's why we have Cyprium now. That's why we have Synlighted now, which is high premium margin to add that to our upstream business. So in the past, your database, you see from the financial report in the past, there's a majority from the raw material side. So the margin is very, very small, very tiny. You got the answer?
Okay. The next question is asking about, what is your company's competitive advantage over the other peers, and what are the barrier of entry for other wire players to this automotive industry?
Okay, Justin, you can carry from here.
Just now, in my slide, I have introduced the automobile in the what is the wire harness. So the wire harness have two category. Is one is normal one. Most of our Malaysian, if they want Malaysian others company they want to do, they can get a consultant to get a IATF certificate first. Then after that they can step in. But after step in automobile industry, they have one policy. If one car model, like let's say Myvi or Saga, this is our national car, the car maker will get the best condition. Is like one car, this model is all supplied by one company for the wire cable. They don't like the mix with like the engine compartment you using other company, like the signal distribution system you using another company. If any this like accident happen or any unexpected problem like the burn of the wire cable, how the traceability, who is to take the responsibility. So in automobile industry, after my company Cyprium Wire have ability to do this, both all of the wire cable in this vehicle, I will be the best choice for the wire harness and even the automotive maker. So because they can say like the new D55L, this old model is belong to you, and this one because they don't mix anymore. So just now you asked me the barrier of my competitor. I think the question is very nice. You want to break into this industry, not only you have money, not only you have even some of them say your politics or even your marketing skill. Come back to the manufacturer, you need to have your own technology. And just now I mentioned all the cross-link material and technology is monopolized by few development country. You won't get the material from them because they also supply this wire. So this is why last 40 years a lot of Malaysian company is import the cable from them. So my competitor, for me, I can say I have not much of competitor, but the potential in the next few years, we don't know. For the local, I don't have competitor. Thank you.
Yeah, nice. If you can be in a
Yes.
business where you got no competitor, wow,
Yeah.
cantik.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, Dr. Sri, there's this question by Mr. Kwek Chun Chong who want to ask Dr. Sri, since Tawin has copper capability and Asia Poly has a plexi glass acrylic cold extrusion, which is suitable for EV cars. So do you have any plan to venture into car building?
No. The one is no. We don't. We are not into car building. We are in the byproduct to supply to car builder.
Okay, cool. Actually, car building is also not an easy business.
Not business. So, but we want to become a supplier to the car builder.
Okay, all right. Now, the next question is by Terry. So now, just now, Mr. Justin, you mentioned about 30% market share for automotive market in Malaysia and Thailand. Is it based on value, tonnage, or the TIV figure?
TIV figure.
Yeah.
Oh, so just now, all the figure in my slide actually is getting from MAA, not the estimate one. It's a Malaysia Automotive Association, and also from the Thailand, I think it's one organization, former record. So we are aiming for the 30%. Actually, it's almost like 400,000 or even 300,000 because just now I mentioned the profit margin is 20%, and you can see the revenue is around, for wire cable, one car is 1,000 ringgit already. Can you imagine one car I produce let's say 200,000 units car time 1,000, the figure is how much? So for the temporarily the phase one, just now in my slide I did mention the phase one. And also you can see we obtain the certificates in January. So now our phase one capacity is almost full already because a lot of automotive order is coming in from the local and overseas, and a lot of potential overseas and other like the Australian also. We submit a lot of sample, is doing the spec in, is doing the testing in their local lab because automotive they won't using the Malaysia Cyprium to certify one. They were using their own higher standard to verify your product. So now a lot of positive feedback is coming in. We need to slowly and step by step to set out my capacity, because for me, not only the machinery, I very focus on the raw management. So it's a good deal with the Tawin also. Through this automotive, we come their supply chain. Tawin also improved a lot because the delivery, everything, the quality, they improve a lot to fulfill the automotive requirement. So I think this one is my answer to the question. Thank you.
All right. So the next question is by YH Huna, who want to ask that you have emphasized quite a lot about the Malaysian market. So what is your plan for international market to compete with international rivals?
So this question is for automotive or copper?
Okay. Yeah.
It, yeah.
In the question, it doesn't mention, but I think you can, take it in.
Okay. If let's say the automobile industry, actually I also like this time this one online. I think with Kenaga. Thanks for the opportunity. I want to let a lot of people understand in this wire cable industry, it's not like other traditional business. Never look down our country ability. Actually, in automobile industry, Malaysia and Thailand is a key supplier for automotive industry. So you can see a lot of like now Vietnam got a new brand of their national car VinFast. Inside VinFast, they also have rely on the globalization supply chain because one auto vehicle is more than 20 over 1,000 to 30 over 1,000 component inside. Can you rely on your own country to supply everything like this? No, sorry to say. In automobile, even some of the car in Japan, like maybe you see some Alpha, Wildfire, some of the content also supplied by overseas. Some of the component also supplied by Southeast Asian, even our country. So actually, Cyprium already in the global supply chain system of few famous wire harness. Sorry, I cannot disclose their name because I signed a lot NDA with them. So actually, this is why some of you will question, how come a Tesla or some famous China's market, they will come to South Asian to source the supply chain. Actually, in these last 20 years and 10 years, Malaysia and Thailand and even Indonesia now very famous, they are growing up. We supply a lot and we are quite important role for some component in this global automobile industry. Okay, thank you.
All right. The next question is by Kelvin Chin. Now, how helpful and how effective will the proposed right issue help Tawin to achieve the next level? Can you share more about how Tawin will utilize the funds?
Yeah, this one is, you can see our circular, which is approved by the shareholder. We actually allocated quite big sum to go into Cyprium and other subsidiary. We have three subsidiary. So we have budgeted and we have allocation for each subsidiary the fund. So of course, with the funds that will be, we call it what Cyprium is have all the fundamental technology, know-how, market, customer, all intact, and with further money fund coming in, so this one is like the market is too big. We can grab as much as we can because the market is there, because we have all the technology, everything, but the market is there. So with further more fund coming in to help, so we can grab more market because the market is always there. So it depends on how much we can do. That's all. So this right issue is also it will definitely also help the expansion plan.
Okay.
But having said that, we already in the expansion plan already. Without even the right issue, we also already in the expansion plan already.
Okay.
Yep.
We also have a couple of questions from our Muslim friends here who want to ask, like, are you looking to get the Sharia compliant status in the future for your company?
I think this fund is we had to refer to the authority. They will do review every 6 months, and we are appealing every 6 months. So it's anytime, we don't know when, maybe next week or next month, they can open. Okay, Tawin is also a Sharia stock. Because this one is not within a company to control. It's actually like authority, XC or Bursa. So they will do it every 6 months review. So we always appeal and every 6 months.
Yeah, that is by the Sharia Advisory Council of the
correct.
Securities Commission.
Yes, correct. After review, they are say okay, they will open up, okay, put Tawin inside as a share stock. Yes.
Okay. The next question is by CH Ang, who want to ask that, with Tawin vertical integration, how much percentage are consumed within inter companies and how much is for other customers?
We right now, if you talk about raw material, our raw material, our current production capacity is about 2,000 tons per month. We have expansion plan on the raw material also, but based on the current production capacity, we have 2,000 tons. But with the expansion plan, for example, a downstream intercoal, we are looking at better the current production capacity. Let's say we want to allocate 50% of the production to be in-house use, in-house integrated subsidiary to use. That's our budget.
All right. So the next question is asked by Qi Yuan. Hi, Dr. Sri. Do you mind to share with us the total capex in the coming financial year, given the company is on expansion? How much will be allocated for Cyprium wire? For Cyprium wire, how many phases are there for the expansion? Could you guide us like estimated total capacity upon completion of the expansion plan?
It's right now. Now we have planned the stage 2. Up to stage 2 expansion plan, which is we are looking into 50 million expansion plan for Cyprium.
Okay.
Just Cyprium alone.
Okay. So the next question is, what is the projected growth for Tawin in terms of revenue and profit for the next 5 years?
Next 5 years. The slide is quite long, it details, but we are saying that we are improving every quarter from now on ahead. The immediate ones, I can tell you offhand, immediately from now, for 2022, we are looking you are talking about the whole group revenue or looking at profit?
I think the question should refer to whole group.
You're talking about profit, right?
Both revenue and profit.
Revenue, we are looking into 700 million, 6 to 700 million. Revenue, we are looking into 40 million. Sorry, profit. For immediate coming year, let's say 2022 financial year.
All right. So the next question is asked by Chang Jia Hong, which is, what are the key risks to Cyprium business?
Cyprium, Justin, can you answer this?
The key risk for Cyprium wire.
To us, we got no risk.
Okay, the risk we got one is the last year, like the COVID-19, because we don't have experience for the COVID-19. So we face a lot of nearly 1.5 months shutdown because like huge company like some of famous top 5 brand in Malaysia, they also shut down. Then this is my risk, but the risk for me is not a big risk. So don't have this wording of key risk. The risk is I need to expand and request by customer. They want me expand as soon as possible. So but for risk for me, I think it's 1 day 24 hours not enough to use. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
We also have questions on the Kemaman Terengganu project. So it's asked by Lim Hian. Now, would you be able to give us a briefing of the advantages of developing an industrial park in Kemaman Terengganu and how Tawin plans to finance the projects?
This project is a long-term planning project because because people might thought it is a property development, but actually we don't intend to become a property developer. We basically want to warehouse all the metal, non-ferrous metal integrated related industry to build a factory within the same compound. particularly related to our copper, the related copper related product. But this is a long-term planning. But as now we are still at the feasibility study stage, so we don't commit any big capex on it.
Okay.
So there was nothing much going to hurt the group balance sheet or this right issue funding. No need to worry about that, because it's a long-term plan. We're still in the very preliminary feasibility study on the development, because government going to come out the land. We are just a joint venture partner with them. We don't need money to buy the land.
Okay.
Okay. So in due time, in due course, we will, when the project is more bankable, meaning everything process is done at the right economic recovery turn, that means we will do it at the right time. So at the moment, it's still a very preliminary study.
I see. Thank you, Dr. Sri. The next question is asked by Bradley Lim. How does the usage of copper wires in the solar industry compare to that of automobile? Do you have a projected revenue breakdown from different segments of your business?
Justin, may you answer this one, Justin?
Okay. Let me explain this. Solar actually is the project from government. I think solar, most of the investment and the solar power plant usually is support like the government, like you see the power cables. Some of the company, they rely on government project like LRT3, this kind. But the automobile is purely for the private. So they have our own culture, our own trend for the growing. They, according the economic, like Malaysia economy is growing up, coming back. So now have a sales tax incentive also for the, so we not much effect for the solar industry. This is depend on the government investment and the like government approval, because this one you need to do the project like bidding the project. But what the information I have in Thailand, they are 1 year doing the solar cable. It's more than 20,000 km per project they're doing, because they're doing the huge solar farm. In Malaysia, because this few years our politics is not so stable, so some of the project already on hold, or because the solar farm, the investment, I think last few weeks they also Sultan Johor also declared they want to do the solar farm, the solar power plant, but suddenly everything is nothing coming up, because this is a project. When you generate the power, is you sell to the GLC like TMB. So is it TMB have this kind of proposal which government to instruction? This is all depend on GLC project and government project. So usually solar, if you want to do, I think is end of this year or next year, we only start to we will show some figure and the project, the figure forecast, everything will come up. But so far, you just heard the project will coming up, but actually not didn't happening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Justin.
Yes.
We got the next questions on pharmaceutical acquisitions. Okay, this question is asked by Sun Keng Ko. Do you have any update on Tawin's pharmaceutical acquisition and Malaysia North Part project?
Malaysia North Part project?
Yeah, that is the questions.
North Part project, you're referring to our Terengganu joint venture park, I think.
Not entirely sure. Maybe Sun Keng can clarify a little bit. And how about
pharmaceutical? We have completed the acquisition. Tawin right now owns 32.5%. We share the profit guarantee, 10 million profit after tax per year. There is organic growth planning on the pharmaceutical industry, and they are looking into some M&A growth as well. So right now, our investment of the 2.5% is around a P of 5.8 times. because there's a profit guarantee after tax 10 million per year. Tawin owned 32.5%. The acquisition already completed.
Okay, so there's also a follow-up question by YH Hun who asks, how is this pharmaceutical business fit into your future growth plan? And what's the growth plan for this business?
The future growth, because right now, this is all look at Tawin overall. Tawin overall is copper-related product. And we have from raw material to integrated downstream. But this is within industry application. But Tawin's, you can see Tawin's, we announced that before, we set out a division called Copper Biohealth. Because Tawin is copper also in the health application. So it's another downstream industry. But that is what we are talking about in the beginning is in the industry application. So on long term, we try to build in the health application, copper in the health application also. So acquisition of this pharmaceutical, that also a little bit in line in strategy to our copper biohealth role in long term. And of course, with the pharmaceutical industry, this company is also historical. They have a good platform to leverage in this industry, and they also give good profit return. That's why we go into to buy over this acquisition, to buy over this pharmaceutical company. Is this in line with our copper biohealth play in the long term? Because copper biohealth, we are referring to copper biochemistry and chemistry of copper, like copper protein, copper nutrition. So this is another area we are long-term playing.
All right, thank you, Dr. Sri.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, next question is by Brett Lees. What was the main reasons for Tawin's lackluster performance over the past 10 years? As much as the future of Tawin looks promising, what is the management taking from the past as lessons?
As in the past, I always say that because in the past this company is managed by a Taiwanese. We came into play 2017, late 2017. It's about 2 years, slightly 2 year plus. They are only focused on, because the old management, they have their own copper product, trading product in Taiwan. They do enamel wire. So they use Malaysia this only as a raw material processor. Come into raw material, process, and bring back to overseas, to Taiwan, to other place. So Malaysia is just a processing unit. So there's no profit. The margin is very thin, very tiny, as I said just now. So when we came in, I look at it, no, this is not the right business we can do. We should go into downstream, switch is to bring it into high margin product. That's why this is the comparison. Did that answer you?
Yeah,
because they are in the past they only focus on raw material processing. Actually, it's just a processing unit.
Okay, so that was before 2018. So after 2018,
correct.
now
exactly, yeah.
So
we came in straight away. We straight away go into integrated downstream, but we will go further. We will look into more on downstream in future, because that is the margin to coming in, not the raw material. The raw material part we don't enjoy much.
The next question is by Terry, who want to ask you for clarification, because just now Dr. Sri mentioned about achieving minimum of 600 million revenue and 14 million net profit in the next financial year. The projection is a huge jump from 2020. So how is the company going to achieve this? What are the drivers for this? Do you mind to share with us how the figure is derived, and what is the estimated contribution from each segment maybe?
The main drive we focus on is our Tawin Cyprium 7 technology. There's a main drive, which Justin is a CEO. And then we have another subsidiary which we just finished the acquisition, That, which is wire harness and wire harness and cable wire harness for E&E industry, wire and wire cable and wire harness for E&E industry, which is also another downstream to Cyprium wire that they also have profit guarantee to us of 2.6 to 3 million per year. There's a minimum profit guarantee. And then our acquisition in the pharmaceutical, even though we are 32.5%, but they have profit guarantee 10 million minimum a year. After tax, we share the equity accounting another 3 million. And our core, because of our downstream expansion and our core, because after pandemic, we expect the market coming back. Our raw material part, we should produce some kind of profit. We are looking at a few million, 4 to 5 million from there. So all in it together, the whole group, we are looking into 40 million.
Okay, sounds
we can only forecast say the immediate financial year, and going forward, of course, we will have bigger plan to do that. Okay.
All right. This question is pretty interesting. Asked by Yong Wing Kid. Dr. Sri, what keeps you awake at night when it comes to Tawin in the recent times?
What do you say? What's your question again?
What keeps you awake at night when it comes to Tawin recently?
Wow, this question.
Besides football, they have a bracket besides football.
Oh, you talk about Tawin? I
Yeah.
only want to build. We want to focus aggressively on automobile industry. That's my key right now.
Okay, so
compared to my other subsidiary, we want to focus aggressively on the automobile toward the coming out. The automobile, not only what we have now, coming ahead, the EV industry, the car revolution, EV. That's the most exciting area we are looking at now.
Okay, so in which Mr. Justin Wong is one of the key leaders in this driving this segment growth.
Yes.
Okay. What is the next 3 years target contributions from target percentage contribution from the Cyprum revenue to the group?
Wow. This one. I will say majority. I will say majority.
Majority, I mean, more than 50%.
More than 50%. More than 50% will be all driven from this subsidiary.
Okay. Let me go through the questions. Now, recently, the automotive industry is impacted by the semiconductor shortage. Does that impact Cyprum in any way?
Okay, this one let me to answer. A lot of people ask me this kind of question in this period, but so far, I don't know this is a good news or bad news because Malaysia is using the not so advanced chip because our Malaysia car functions compared to the overseas, like the same model Mercedes-Benz C-Class in Malaysia, the function is only the basic one. In the overseas is a most advantage with come with radar and a lot of ACC function. In Malaysia, so far we didn't face any shortage of the chip semiconductor because now most of the chip, because now I think China or few Western country, they have the auto drive. I think Malaysia don't have auto drives until now. So that one depend on the semiconductor and the chips is a more high portion. In Malaysia so far, I checked with a few famous top 5 brands in Malaysia that at least have enough stock until this year, October. So still have around 6 months stock, available stock for them. So this is not a big issue for our Malaysia automotive industry. Thank you.
Okay. The next question is by Kwan Ming Tam. So does wire harness use a lot of labor? If yes, any strategy to minimize the labor content because Malaysia is lack of labor?
Justin, wire harness?
Okay. Actually, I am the wire. I'm the wire cable manufacturer. I'm the tier 2. So the tier 1 is wire harness. Yes, wire harness they need a lot of manpower. But because this one, I think next time Sinlitech maybe can be invited for this function. They answer this kind of question, because I only can answer my one is wire cable industry. Have one funny things is we don't need so much manpower because most of our machine is semi-auto or even some of auto. For the wire harness, actually also in some of the Western country or Japan, they're already using the robotic to replace the manpower. But Malaysia, I think the manpower for our subsidiary Sinlitech is not a big problem because he have a very good management on the manpower. So so far they didn't, because he doing a lot of overseas orders. A lot of people reduce their foreign worker or even manpower is because their business is not so good. And the next 3 years, he don't have confidence. But in our group, like Sinlitech and my company, we are keep recruitment people because now our capacity almost full already. I need to keep expand and buy more new machine to fulfill my customer requirements. So luckily, from last year after COVID, the pandemic, I think last year August or September until now, we are step by step growing up. So we don't have the problem like we will cost management to make decision, reduce the manpower. So far, me and Sinlitech is still keep recruitment the worker because we need some worker come in. But Cyprium, even I do the like 1 year 200 million revenue, my worker is not more than 150%. It's less than that. It's combined with staff together also because of all function is semi-auto and automatic. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. So there's also another question for you, Mr. Justin. Now, how good is the profit margin for the irradiation cross-link wire to your company?
Okay, this is a very good question. Irradiation cross-link, the profit margin, the cost actually compared to the normal, a bit different, but not much. But the profit margin is compared to the normal one. I think if let's say like the normal one, you only can get 10%, 15 to 20%.
20%.
But the cross link, you can get easily more than 30 to 70. This is depend on the usage of the like which car, like EV car is quite high profit margin. But the reason why you have the profit margin, I explain a keyword to every one of you. Your normal wire maybe for 7 to 9 years, 10 years only. For the irradiation crossing wire, their lifespan long lasting is more than 20 to 25 years. So this is the difference. Okay.
Okay, nice. I believe Mr. Justin, just now you mentioned about patents. Like how much is your Cyprum wire patent worth as per your company book? So this is the question by TL Ong.
Oh, we don't have valuation on this. In the book, we don't keep the value.
Okay. So that.
Yes.
So far there's no valuation of this patent.
No valuation on this. Yeah, correct.
All right. Also, there's also a follow-up question like how much is the revenue for the irradiation cross-link wire itself? Cyprum wire on maximum capacity?
Cyprium wire capacity for this one, I think for this one, I think is already can. Just now you see the Malaysia total market is 500,000 per year. Let's say if from our Cyprium, at least my capacity can cover more than 50% of Malaysia requirement, existing capacity. After we keep phase 2, phase 3 explanation, just now you show my slide, the 500,000 or 600,000 for Malaysia total demand, I also can cover.
So do you think this the order which costs the maximum capacity currently is sustainable after the expansion?
Yes, automobile order is like that. They're not like others order like other business. Maybe you would think this customer buy from you this month and next month he buy from other. No, they give you this model, you spec in this model at least 5 to 7 years all belong to you. unless you have some unexpected problem or even quality problem. If not, it's permanently at least 5 to 7 years belong to you. So surely sustain and growing up. This is the automobile industry trend is like that. Once you go in, you only must follow your customer to growing up. If you don't have capacity, you refuse to growing and expand your capacity, then you will lose your opportunity. Like some company cannot focus on automobile. He also want to doing others. He also want to doing others industry. Then you will lose the confidence for your automobile industry because most of them they hope you keep focus on automobile because they want to growing up. Okay, thank you.
Okay. We have our friend Steven who want to ask also, what is your dividend payout plan like? Those three.
I think this one we had to look at after 2003 financial year end, 2022.
2022 lah, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
We will look at dividend already.
Okay, so 2022, not too far from now.
Yeah.
Okay. The next question is by Cecilia Ma. It seems like the Tawin haven't released the December 31st, 2020 financial report yet. Like tentatively, when will we be able to see the results?
This week. This week.
This
Within
week.
this week. Yep.
Okay. So 3 more days. Okay. Okay. Let me see the questions. I think most of the questions we have already addressed. So of course, this one you mentioned about this week, right? The follow-up question is: should we expect good result this week?
Oh, as I said, this is the second quarter to our new financial year. We already know that it is improving to the last quarter.
Okay. We also have a questions to want to ask Dato Sri. Will the company establish algorithm or big data in the future? This is by Chan Chi Ta.
What is the question again?
Will the company establish the algorithm or big data in the future?
Well, I don't understand the question. No? You can
I
explain
think maybe Justin's want to take it.
Okay, let me explain a bit. Luckily, I know about the big data. Big data for our wire cable industry is not so. We are not using the big data because we are not consumer product. We are industry product. So we only like the data with the customer, like ERP system, BOM system, link with their management ERP system. We won't using big data because big data usually is for consumer product. So maybe this is also a good idea. If I develop the global business, I also need some big data. But usually in manufacturing, we don't use the big data. Thank you.
Okay. The next question is asking about the output. So Terry will want to know that is the total output for Cyprium under phase 1 is 50,000 km per month. How much is the total output upon completion of phase 2? And when will the phase 2 expansion be completed?
3 months from now, I think.
Very good question. Just now this I think then he read my presentation very carefully. Yes. So I need to. We are doing the expansion now. Another 3 to 4 months, it's around June or July. We will complete our phase 2 expansion. But just now, phase 1 is 50,000, right? I need to explain again for the automobile industry. Usually the mathematics, you will think about 1 + 1 = 2. But in the manufacturing, when you increase your machine, not something like 1 + 1 = 2. Sometimes it's the 1 + 1 equal bigger than 2. Because why? You have more machine to, okay, in our wire cable industry, we talk about range, product range, order range. So some of the company like same industry of compared to Cyprium or even like power cable, they will have limit of the product range is because he don't want to invest on this kind of machine. So because maybe the portion they think is not worth to invest. But in automobile industry, you need to keep expand your range. Like just now in my presentation, I doing the Japan spec, European spec, and even the Northern American spec. So I have the ability to step in the EV industry. Sometime, some of my customer, if he give me a lot of volume, they will independent up the capacity. Like, okay, these 2 line you special produce for me, I will let your product capacity go to 100% or even, but usually it's 95 lah. Our manufacturing won't go for 100% one because we need to 5% tolerance to prevent any up and down from the customer. So my phase 1 is 50,000. After the phase 2 will have more than 150,000 km because now my incoming forecast for order is more than this figure. So we need to choose very carefully now because I have the advantage of the costing and advantage for the delivery and the technology. Now a lot of global system, they're already aware and found that, oh, got one company in Malaysia can supply this kind of level with this costing. So they all come to ask me, because luckily is and can say lucky or not lucky because now Malaysia is not allow foreigner come to visit. If like usual, I think everyone I got more than 4 to 5 company come to audit me. So now we are busy to doing this explanation. Phase 2 estimate 150,000 km. Maybe another 1 to 2 years, we need to do another phase 3 or phase 4. Because so this is what I'm seeking for step by step. So I hope my answer can view the question. Thank you.
That's a very good insights.
Yes.
There's one last question from Yong Wing Kid who actually asked the question. Dr. Sri, do you think that the current Tawin share price reflects the future potential of Tawin, or you think this is now undervalued?
You ask me, personally, I'm the shareholder, is undervalued.
Undervalued, all right.
Because I'm the shareholder, that's all I can say.
We love that answer. All right. So thank you everybody for joining this live chat with Ta Win Holdings Berhad EV Power the Way until the end of this session. So thank you so much, Dr. Sri, for joining our sessions, and thank you so much, Justin, for sharing with us your insight into this company. I'm sure that the audience have learned a great deal about your company. We have learned the insight into the industry. We have learned your company background. We have learned the future business potential. We have learned your business performances, and as well as what's the plan forward for your company. All right. So right now, let me just talk about the next session with Kenanga Corporate Cantrip webinar for corporate presentations. We have a live chat with Tech International. So it's happening on the 8th of April, Thursday, 8:30 to 10 o'clock. So we have just put in the registration link in the chat box. I think for those of you who want to learn what Tech is all about, and then the recent share price of Tech is also on a spectacular run. So if you want to gain more insight into Tech, please join our next sessions. But not only corporate presentations on the 8th of April, on the 27th of April, we also have a session with Kenanga Research. We'll be inviting the head of research from Kenanga Investment Bank to conduct these sessions. All right. So if you want to learn more about the potential opportunities in Q2, then please reserve your date on the 27th of April for our CanTrade webinar. And for those of you who have not had a Kenanga share trading account, you may fill up this online form, which is www.kentrade.com.my/open-account-form. We have put in the account opening form in the chat box and also on the YouTube live stream. So for those of you who have not had a Kenanga share trading account, you may fill up the form to let us know your interest, and then our friendly dealer representative will reach out to you to help you to open your accounts. And with that, thank you so much to our presenter today, Dr. Sri Ngu, and also Justin Wong, for sharing the insights into your company and the industry that you operate in. Thank you so much. We learned enormously about your companies. And I want to thank all of you here for tuning in online to join this session. I know that you take time out of your busy schedule to learn what Tawin is all about. So I want to thank all of you for joining, and hope you have learned as much as I do in these sessions.
Thank you very much, Shane. Thank you very much. And also thank you very much for the platform.
Thank you, thank you, Shane. Thank you, Kenanga. And good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
All right. Have a pleasant rest of the day.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you in the next CanTrade webinar.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.